Dazai Osamu's No Longer Human is like a shattered mirror, reflecting the cracks and endless loneliness deep within humanity. The protagonist Yezo's life trajectory is a journey of self-exile from childhood to adulthood, each struggle questioning, why do we live? With its delicate yet despairing prose, the work sketches the soul of someone unable to fit into the world, guiding us to confront the absurdity and pain of existence. Dazai Osamu not only writes Yezo's story but also his own inner torment, a torment that transcends time and pierces the soul of every reader. Chapter 1: The Masquerade and Alienation of Childhood. Yezo's narrative begins in childhood, revealing his innate sense of alienation. From a young age, he feels out of place in the world, using clownish performances to mask his inner unease. The books I never understood human emotions as a child. I only knew how to hide fear with laughter. This masquerade is not merely a childhood game, but Yezo's survival strategy for navigating the world. He plays the obedient child at home and the comical jester at school to avoid others discovering the void within him. This alienation is not unique to Yezo. The 19th century French poet Charles Baudelaire confessed in his diary that he felt estranged from others since childhood, as if living in a transparent cage. Baudelaire's poetry brims with the alienation of modern urban life, echoing Yezo's childhood experiences. Baudelaire described wandering the streets of Paris, feeling the clamor of crowds like an alien tide pushing him deeper into solitude. Similarly, Yezo's laughter is a suit of armor, shielding him from the world's harm but also distancing him from authentic emotions. Yezo's childhood is not devoid of joy, but his joy always carries a calculated trace. At school, he wins classmates' affection through humor but never truly belongs to their world. He fears being seen through, terrified that his abnormality will be exposed in broad daylight. This fractured self leads him to question his own worth even in childhood. Why must he pretend? Why can't he live naturally like others? These questions haunt him, following him through childhood and planting the seeds of his later tragedy. Yezo's childhood is not only a personal tragedy but also reflects the hidden scars of many in modern society. His masquerade is a survival tactic, yet it causes him to lose himself in his interactions with the world. Similar journey can be seen in the British writer Virginia Woolf's experiences. In her memoir Moments of Being, Woolf recalls escaping the oppressive atmosphere of her childhood home through writing and fantasy. She wrote, "I wove a world with words to shield myself from reality's sting." Like Yezo, Woolf's pretense is a form of self-protection, but it also leads to her lifelong battle with depression in adulthood. Yezo's clownish performances may win others' affection, but they cannot fill the void within him. The indifference he feels at home and his deliberate efforts to please at school create a vicious cycle. The more he pretends, the greater his sense of alienation from the real world. This childhood loneliness is not without precedent. Psychologist John Bowlby's attachment theory suggests that children lacking a sense of security in childhood often struggle to build trusting relationships in adulthood. Yezo's experience exemplifies this. His pretense stems from a fear of rejection, yet it keeps him at a distance in relationships. Through Yezo's childhood, Dazai Osamu reveals a universal truth. The seeds of loneliness are often sown in life's earliest moments, and their impact may linger throughout one's existence. Yezo's childhood isolation is not an isolated phenomenon. It mirrors the universal human struggle to reconcile the self with the world. His pretense is not only a compromise with family and society, but also a response to his unease about his own existence. The Swedish director Ingmar Bergman's experiences offer a similar example. In his autobiography, The Magic Lantern, Bergman writes, "As a child, I learned to hide myself because no one understood my fears." Through films like Wild Strawberries, he explores the wounds of childhood, showing how early experiences shape one's inner world. Likewise, Yezo's clownish performances are an escape, yet they leave him powerless to form genuine connections with others. With delicate prose, Dazai Osamu portrays Yezo's childhood sensitivity and vulnerability. Yezo is not cold, but overly perceptive, able to sense subtle shifts in others' emotions yet unable to grasp their meaning. He tries to fit in through imitation, only to find that imitation deepens his loneliness. This childhood alienation lays the foundation for his later descent and despair. Chapter 2. The Fog and Descent of Youth. Entering adolescence, Yezo's alienation does not fade but intensifies due to the complexities of society. He turns to alcohol, women, and a reckless lifestyle, seeking meaning in these external stimuli. Yet these actions fail to fill his inner void, instead plunging him deeper into despair. Dazai Osamu writes, "I tried to numb myself with alcohol, but upon waking, the emptiness was even clearer." Alcohol and debauchery become tools for escaping reality, yet they hasten his self-destruction. This descent is not mere moral decay, but a loss of Yezo's sense of identity. A similar journey is found in the American writer Jack Kerouac's experiences. In On the Road, Kerouac chronicles his youthful wanderings and indulgence, confessing, "I used revelry to escape the void within, but each bout of revelry left me more certain I had nowhere to go." Kerouac's debauchery is a quest for meaning, ultimately leading to nothingness. Likewise, Yezo's drinking and dalliances with women are futile searches for meaning. Yezo's adolescent descent reflects his growing alienation from society. He seeks belonging through friendships, relationships with women, and even joining radical political groups, but each attempt ends in failure. His heart is like a bottomless abyss, incapable of being filled, no matter what he pours into it. His friendship with Haruki appears to be camaraderie, but is, in truth, Yezo's imitation of another's life. Haruki's carefree debauchery attracts Yezo, but he cannot truly enjoy such a life as Haruki does. Each indulgence is accompanied by deep self-loathing. This self-loathing is not mere moral guilt, but a profound doubt about his own existence. In his debauchery, he seeks liberation, only to find emptiness flooding back after each revelry. The French existentialist writer Jean-Paul Sartre offers a similar perspective. In Nausea, Sartre describes the protagonist Roquenin's sudden sense of absurdity in everyday life, writing, "I felt like a blank sheet of paper, devoid of meaning." Like Yezo, Sartre expresses existential confusion through literature, and his indulgent lifestyle sinking into Paris's cafes and nightlife is an escape that deepens his sense of nothingness. Yezo's adolescent indulgence, on the surface a rebellion, is in reality a futile resistance against societal norms. He tries to escape his inner oppression through alcohol and women, only to be pushed deeper into despair. His friend Haruki becomes a mirror of his youth, reflecting Yezo's awkwardness and pain against Haruki's ease and debauchery. Dazai Osamu skillfully depicts Yezo's inner conflict. He yearns to belong to society yet despises his own compromises. This conflict traps him deeper in the fog of adolescence, each indulgence digging a deeper grave for himself. Psychologist Erik Erikson's theory of identity crisis may explain Yezo's struggles, as he seeks a sense of self in adolescence but becomes lost in irreconcilable inner conflicts. Through Yezo's narrative, Dazai Osamu shows how the fog of youth engulfs a sensitive soul. Yezo is not without efforts to fit into society, but he finds himself unable to adapt to its rules or accept his own weaknesses. His descent is both a rebellion against society and a punishment of himself. This conflicted psychology turns his youth into an endless struggle. Chapter 3. The Disillusionment and Betrayal of Love. In No Longer Human, love is a fleeting light in Yezo's life, yet it also becomes a catalyst for his downfall. He forms relationships with several women, but each ends in disappointment or betrayal. Particularly in his relationship with a woman modeled after Tsushima Shūji's Dazai Osamu's real name wife Michiko, Yezo experiences brief warmth but destroys it through his self-destructive tendencies. The book states, "I loved her, but I loved destroying myself even more." This love is both a hope for salvation and a chasm of despair. The British poet Lord Byron's romantic life offers a real-world parallel. Byron pursued passionate love throughout his life, but due to inner unrest and self-doubt, repeatedly pushed his lovers into pain. In a letter to a lover he wrote, I cannot give you happiness, for I have never possessed it myself. Like Yezo, Byron's love is shadowed by self-denial, leading to broken relationships. In his interactions with women, Yezo cannot escape the shadow of self-denial, yearning for love yet fearing he is unworthy of it. His relationship with Ryoko, a bar hostess, is one of the few tender moments in his life. Ryoko's simplicity and sincerity try to save Yezo with her love. However, Yezo's self-destructive tendencies lead him to betray this trust. He cannot bear Ryoko's purity, as it reflects his own unworthiness. His betrayal is not malicious, but stems from his inability to believe he deserves happiness. This self-destructive love turns every relationship into a tragedy. Through Yezo's romantic experiences, Dazai Osamu reveals the conflict between humanity's yearning for love and self-denial. Each of Yezo's relationships is an attempt at salvation, but his heart seeks evidence of failure. When his lovers try to pull him from the abyss, he chooses to sink deeper. This conflicted psychology turns his love into an irredeemable tragedy. Yezo's romantic tragedies are not merely personal failures but a profound revelation of the tension between love and self-destruction in human nature. Each relationship is a mirror, reflecting the self he cannot face. A similar emotional struggle is seen in the American poet Sylvia Plath's life. In The Bell Jar, Plath chronicles her complex marriage with Ted Hughes, writing, "I loved him, but I feared I would destroy him." Plath's inner turmoil mirrors Yezo's strikingly, as she seeks salvation through love but is driven away by self-doubt and depression, ultimately leading to tragedy. Yezo's relationship with Ryoko is particularly heartbreaking. Ryoko's simplicity and trust are like a light briefly illuminating Yezo's dark world. Yet, in her trust, he sees his own unworthiness and chooses betrayal to escape this purity. Dazai Osamu writes in this passage, "Her trust suffocated me, for I could not believe I deserved to be loved." This psychology is not just a personal sorrow, but reflects a common fear of intimacy in modern society. Psychologist Carl Rogers' humanistic theory posits that self-acceptance is the foundation of healthy relationships, something Yezo distinctly lacks. Each betrayal is a denial of his own worth and an escape from love. Moreover, Yezo's relationships with women are constrained by societal expectations. In pre-war Japan, men were assigned dominant roles, but Yezo's weakness makes him unable to fulfill this role. His love becomes a double failure, unable to meet society's expectations or his own inner desires. This double failure makes his love an inescapable tragedy, each attempt at intimacy proving his disqualification as a human. A similar emotional struggle is seen in the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda's life. In 20 love poems and a song of despair, Neruda writes, "I love you, but I fear losing you, for I cannot bear my own emptiness." His passionate love poems also reveal self-doubt, echoing Yezo's inner conflict. In his interactions with women, Yezo carries a self-destructive impulse, yearning for love yet seeking proof of failure within it. Through Yezo's relationship with Ryoko, Dazai Osamu portrays this conflict at its extreme. Ryoko's trust is a mirror reflecting Yezo's unworthiness, leading him to betray her to escape this unbearable purity. His confession, "I could not face her eyes," reveals a profound psychological truth. Love is both a hope for salvation and a trigger for destruction. This complex emotional entanglement makes Yezo's love story not only a personal tragedy but a deep analysis of the conflict between love and self-denial in human nature. This contradiction dooms his love to disillusionment. Chapter 4. The Mirror of Society and Hypocrisy. Yezo's observations of society are filled with sharp criticism. He sees society as rife with hypocrisy, where people live behind masks, yet he cannot adapt to these false rules. He writes in the book, "People laugh and deceive each other, but I lack even the courage to deceive." This insight into societal hypocrisy is one source of Yezo's pain. He tries to face the world with sincerity, only to find sincerity has no place in society. The 19th century Russian writer Fyodor Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground offers a similar perspective. The underground man also despises society's hypocrisy, choosing to retreat into his underground and reject connections with the outside world. He writes, "I would rather suffer alone than be part of falsehood." Yezo shares striking similarities with this underground man. Both see through society's hypocrisy but are powerless to change it, choosing escape or self-destruction. Yezo's alienation from society stems not only from his inability to adapt to its rules but also from his refusal to be part of its hypocrisy. In his interactions with Haruki, he sees how easily Haruki blends into society, using lies and performances to gain approval. Yezo envies this ability, but cannot emulate it. His sincerity becomes his burden, leaving him no foothold in society. This conflict leads him to lose trust in humanity and deepens his doubt about his own existence. Through Yezo's perspective, Dazai Osamu reveals the alienation of individuals in modern society. Yezo is not merely a victim. His pain comes from his acutely perceptive insight. He sees society's hypocrisy but finds no way to escape it. Each struggle is a silent rebellion against societal rules, yet it deepens his loneliness. This silent rebellion is not without meaning. It reveals Yezo's persistent pursuit of authenticity. He refuses to be part of society's hypocrisy, yet this refusal cuts him off from connection with the world. A similar mindset is seen in the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche's experiences. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche writes, "I would rather stand alone on a mountaintop than join the hypocritical masses." Nietzsche's disgust with the moral hypocrisy of 19th century European society and his philosophy aimed to awaken authentic individual existence, yet it led to his lonely later years. Yezo's struggle mirrors Nietzsche's. He tries to confront society's masks with sincerity, only to find sincerity has no place in reality. Through Yezo's observations, Dazai Osamu reveals the mechanisms of alienation in modern society. In pre-war Japan, rigid social hierarchies and relationships bound by etiquette and norms constrained individuals. Yezo's sensitivity allows him to see through the emptiness of these norms, yet it prevents him from fitting in. His loneliness is not merely a product of his personality, but a reflection of societal structures. Sociologist Miles Durkheim's theory of anime may explain Yezo's predicament. In rapidly changing societies, individuals feel lost due to a lack of clear norms. Yezo's struggle is a microcosm of this anomic state. Chapter 5. The absence of faith and nihilism. Yezo's despair largely stems from his lack of faith. He has no religious anchor or hope for the future. He confesses in the book, "I don't know why I live, nor why I die." This complete denial of meaning plunges him into the abyss of nihilism. His life feels like a journey without an end, directionless and meaningless. The 20th century existentialist philosopher Albert Camus explores a similar theme in The Myth of Sisyphus. Camus argues that life's absurdity arises from the conflict between humanity's desire for meaning and the world's lack of it. He writes, "One must find a reason to live within the absurd." Yezo's experience is a microcosm of this conflict. He yearns for a reason to live but finds the world offers no answers. Each struggle is a futile search for meaning. Yezo's nihilism is also evident in his complex attitude toward death. He attempts suicide multiple times, yet each attempt leaves him feeling emptier. His suicides are not simply a desire for death, but a desperate questioning of meaning. As Camus states, there is but one truly serious philosophical problem, and that is suicide. Each of Yezo's suicide attempts is a response to this question. Yezo's suicide attempts are not just escapes from life but desperate inquiries into meaning. He seeks answers through death, only to find death itself equally empty. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard's life offers another perspective. In Fear and Trembling, Kierkegaard explores the boundary between faith and despair, writing, "Despair is the sickness of the soul, a complete denial of the self." Kierkegaard's own depression and struggle with faith echo Yezo's nihilism. He counters despair with a leap of faith, while Yezo sinks deeper into nothingness. Yezo's nihilism is also tied to the cultural climate of pre-war Japan. In that era, the clash between traditional samurai values and modernization left many feeling lost. Yezo's lack of faith is not only a personal dilemma but a reflection of the era. He seeks meaning through political groups, only to find them equally hypocritical and empty. His failed suicides are like silent protests against a meaningless world. This silent protest is not only a personal expression of despair, but also a reflection of the era's spiritual crisis. In pre-war Japan, the value confusion brought by rapid modernization left many like Yezo in a vacuum of faith. The Polish poet Wesoła Szymborska writes in her poem Possibilities, "I prefer uncertain meanings, for they keep me alive." Szymborska's poetry seeks faint hope in an uncertain world, while Yezo sinks into this uncertainty. His nihilism stems not only from personal experiences, but also intertwines with the era's sense of loss. Through Yezo's narrative, Dazai Osamu reveals the helplessness of a person without faith, his failed suicides like a silent cry to awaken a world indifferent to meaning. Though this cry does not change his fate, it shows humanity's struggle and resilience in the face of nothingness. He tries to escape pain through death, only to find death offers no answers. Through Yezo's inner monologue, Dazai Osamu portrays the pinnacle of nihilism. Yezo's despair is not sudden but accumulates from childhood alienation, youthful dissent, and romantic disillusionment. His nihilism is a complete denial of humanity and the world, as well as a profound doubt about his own existence. Chapter 6: The Fate of Destruction and the Illusion of Salvation. In the epilogue of No Longer Human, Yezo is sent to a mental hospital, completely isolated from society. His life's trajectory seems destined for destruction. Dazai Osamu writes, "I have lost the qualification to be human." This statement is not only Yezo's confession but also Dazai Osamu's summation of his own life. Yezo's destruction is not accidental but the inevitable result of his conflict with the world. The Japanese writer Yukio Mishima's experiences offer a similar example. In his later years, Mishima chose an extreme way to end his life, and his autobiographical works are filled with reflections on the conflict between self and society. He wrote, "I pursued beauty, but beauty could not save my soul." Like Yezo, Mishima's inner conflict between the pursuit of ideals and disgust with reality remains unresolved. Yet No Longer Human does not entirely negate the possibility of salvation. At the end of his life, Yezo retains a faint attachment to humanity. In his interactions with the bar hostess, he feels a touch of warmth, though this warmth cannot ultimately save him. This faint light of salvation imbues the despairing ending of No Longer Human with a complex glow of humanity. Yezo's destruction is a complete surrender of the self, yet it is also a complex confession of humanity. Through Yezo's ending, Dazai Osamu portrays humanity's struggle in despair. Yezo's life is a tragedy, but his attachment to humanity lends this tragedy a touch of warmth. His story reminds us that even in the deepest despair, humanity may still flicker with faint light. This light, though weak, is enough to reveal the complexity and warmth of human nature. In his interactions with the bar hostess, Yezo briefly experiences being understood, a rare moment of connection in his life. A similar emotional connection is seen in the Austrian writer Stefan Zweig's experiences. In the world of yesterday, Zweig recalls finding warmth in fleeting conversations with strangers during his exile, moments that gave him the strength to continue writing in despair. Though Yezo's faint light of salvation does not change his fate, it shows that even in the darkest moments, human connections can spark hope. Through these details, Dazai Osamu reveals the duality of human nature, both fragile and resilient, both despairing and yearning for salvation. Chapter 7: Epilogue: The Resonance of Disqualification. No Longer Human is not just a novel, but a mirror reflecting the human heart. Yezo's loneliness and despair may echo something deep within every reader's soul. Through Yezo's story, Dazai Osamu probes fundamental questions about the self, society, and existence. His words are like a blade, piercing through humanity's pretense while revealing a glimmer of truth in the pain. The 19th century German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "When you gaze into the abyss gazes back." Yezo's abyss is his inescapable self-denial, a struggle each of us may face within. No longer human forces us to confront the struggle and find resonance in loneliness. In Dazai Osamu's pen, Yezo's Disqualification is not utter failure but an exploration of the limits of humanity. His pain is a profound questioning of life and a complex confession of human nature. The power of this work lies in its authenticity. Yezo's every struggle and despair carries the shadow of Dazai Osamu himself. His words tell not only Yezo's story but the story of every soul alienated in modern society. Whether we fully understand Yezo's pain or not, his story reminds us, loneliness is not humanity's end but the starting point of self-awareness.